Let me ask you a tough question. What if you, yes, you, a 40-year-old professional, were suddenly made redundant and your monthly salary stopped? How long could you keep your current lifestyle running without financial stress? A month, 3 months, maybe six at best? And then it begins. Sleepless nights, you are wide awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering, how will I manage? What about my family, my EMIs, my kids' school fees? The worry starts eating you up from inside. But it doesn't have to be that way. Today, I will share 3 personal finance strategies to take back control of your finances and finally sleep easy at night. Let me share my personal story with you first. When I received my first salary 30 years ago, I couldn't wait to spend it. I bought a golden Titan wristwatch that cost half my paycheck. At 40, I went bigger. I purchased my first Mercedes. Sure, my salary was rising every year, but my expenses and lifestyle were growing even faster. Whatever little was left remained in a savings account, doing nothing for me. Then came my wake up call. At the age of 45, during a company restructuring, I realized how close I was to redundancy and lost income. That possibility shook me to the core, and I realized that it didn't matter how much I earned, if the paycheck stopped, I would be in trouble, deep trouble. That moment changed everything for me. I knew I had to take control, not just how much I earned, but how well I was prepared if the income ever stopped. And the very first step I took, the foundation of it all, was this: personal strategy number one, build an emergency fund. This is the most critical step towards your financial safety net, and I call this emergency fund a sleep well fund, and a buffer that lets you breathe easy. Because when you know you can handle life's sudden shocks like a job loss, medical issues, or family crisis, you sleep differently. You feel calmer, stronger, and more in control. So, how big should this fund be? This fund should be big enough to cover all your expenses for preferably 12 months or at least 6 months. Please note, I am talking about expenses and not salary or income. Say you spend 80,000 rupees each month. That means you need 9.6 lakhs or minimum 4.8 lakhs in your sleep well fund, kept in a high yield savings account or liquid funds. This isn't about numbers, it's about confidence. When life throws curveballs like job loss or a medical emergency, this fund ensures you won't have to liquidate investments or take out high interest loans. Once this queue is in place, something shifts. You sleep better. You carry yourself differently. You make career decisions without fear. That's not only financial security, it's emotional freedom as well. But a cushion alone isn't enough. Once your safety net is in place, it's time to make your money to do the heavy lifting for you. This is where real wealth creation begins. Not in how much you earn, but in how much your money earns while you sleep. That's where the second strategy comes in, your growth engine. I am not here to give stock tips or chase the next crypto trend. I am talking about proven strategies like investment strategies that give you good return with limited risk. Depending upon your risk profile, you should invest regularly in various options available in the market like equity, bonds, gold funds, real estate, etc. Talk to your banker or people who have knowledge about investing and take your call. The key is regular and systematic investment over longer duration, like 15 to 20 years, to create a sizable wealth. For example, if you invest 25,000 rupees every month for 20 years, you will put in approximately 60 lakhs of your own money. But thanks to the power of compounding and market growth, historical data suggests that amount can grow up to 2.5 crores. I'm sure you can manage to save and invest additional 25,000 rupees per month from your salary, but the challenge is staying the course. Most people try to time the market. They panic when markets dip and pull out, or they wait for the perfect entry point which never comes. Here is the lesson I have learned over last 25 years. It's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. I hope you get the difference. The longer you stay invested, the more your money compounds, and that's your true growth engine. While your growth engine helps you build wealth over time, there is still one more piece to the puzzle. Because real financial freedom isn't just about how much you have saved, it's about building income streams that keep flowing even if your salary stops. And that's where the third strategy comes in, your salary replacement fund. Here is why this matters. Over 85% of Indian households rely on single income, their salary. That's risky, real risky. One job loss, one health crisis, and the entire structure collapses. A batchmate of mine got this early. Even while working as a CXO, earning over 1 crore way back, I think sometimes in 2010, he opened a Baskin-Robbins franchisee in prime commercial area in Gurgaon. I was surprised why he needed extra money. But now I understand. He was building his salary replacement fund. Your salary replacement fund could also be rental income, dividend paying stocks, digital products, or a side business like my friend. The goal? Earn enough passive income that does not depend upon your job to cover your basic expenses. In such cases, your job becomes optional. You are no longer working out of necessity. You are working out of choice. This is financial nirvana. Sounds inspiring, right? But I know what you may be thinking. RK, this is all great in theory, but how do I actually make it happen? Don't worry, I have got you covered. Let's break it down into simple actionable plan and call it 50-30-20 rule. So what does it mean? It means 50% of income goes towards essential expenses like daily groceries, house rental, EMI, school fees, insurance, etc. The expenses, these are non-discretionary in nature, they are mandatory. The next 30% is invested. And only after you have taken money out for investment, then you spend the rest 20% on lifestyle choices like foreign holidays, buying the next big SUV, etc. So 50% necessarily essential expenses, then you take 30% for investment, and only then you take rest 20% for your lifestyle choices. So now you have 30% of your income for investment. So you have to further split the 30% that you have allocated for investment. First, create your emergency fund, right? Strategy number 1. This is your first priority. Once this emergency fund is completely full for 6 months of your expenses or say 12 months of expenses, then split the available fund in 70-30 ratio. Just listen once more. The 30% of your income that you have allocated for investment, first build your emergency fund. Once that is done, then take the rest money and split it into 70-30 ratio. 70% goes to growth fund, growth engine, and 30% goes to create your salary replacement fund. I hope you get it. Please note that this split and ratios are only indicative. Fine-tune it based on your own situation. But the key idea is to create these 3 funds. Even a modest start creates momentum. Over time, it changes your life. As you execute your personal finance strategies and create these 3 funds, you will start noticing something incredible. Less stress, more confidence, and the freedom from financial worries, freedom from being awake at 2 a.m. So, here is your action plan. Action number 1, calculate your current net worth. Number 2, build your emergency or sleep well fund. Number 3, start investing in your growth engine. And the last, explore ideas for your salary replacement fund. Now, all your financial strategies that we talked about, creating emergency fund, creating growth engine, creating income replacement fund, rely on your continued income, continued job and salary, right? To have your salary, your income continue flowing in, you have to stay relevant in the job market. And therefore, you can't afford to ignore the AI revolution that is reshaping careers. In my next video, I will explore how to stay career resilient in the age of AI because financial planning is just one side of the coin. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful, take a second to hit the like button. It helps more people discover this content. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Grow with RK for practical advice on building wealth and career success. Don't forget to share this with a friend who needs to hear this today. This is RK. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.